The plight of priests and pastors in Nigeria's Christian persecution. In the heart of Nigeria, beyond the headlines and statistics, a quiet war wages against faith. Amidst the vast stretches of savannah, bustling villages, and rural chapels lies a chilling reality. Priests and pastors are being hunted, abducted, and often killed. These are not random acts of violence. They are deliberate, targeted assaults meant to destabilize Christian communities, silence voices of hope, and erode the very foundations of faith in some of Nigeria's most vulnerable regions. A pastoral call into danger. Father John, a Roman Catholic priest in the north-central state of Kaduna, had just finished his evening prayers. The village was quiet. The dim lights of kerosene lamps flickered across the rectory as he prepared for another early morning mass. But before dawn could break, armed men stormed his compound. They were Fulani militants, a well-armed group that often targets Christian clergy. With gunshots cracking the air and dogs barking helplessly, Father John was dragged into the darkness. For days his parishioners prayed. Some organized search parties, others raised ransom money. He was released 2 weeks later, but not without scars. The trauma, the humiliation, and the terror still linger. Father John's ordeal is not an isolated case. It is part of a broader pattern that has intensified in recent years. The strategy behind the abductions. The targeting of priests and pastors is not merely incidental, it is strategic. For extremist groups like Boko Haram, Islamic State West Africa Province, ISWAP, and certain Fulani militant factions, religious leaders are potent symbols. They are shepherds of communities, custodians of morality, and often the last line of defense in regions where government presence is virtually non-existent. By abducting or killing these leaders, attackers seek to dismantle the social fabric of Christian villages. Churches are emptied, morale is shattered, fear replaces faith. Many priests in rural Nigeria become de facto community leaders, mediating land disputes, organizing aid, and advocating for justice. For these roles, they pay a heavy price. Who is doing the targeting? The groups responsible for these atrocities vary by region. In the northeast, Boko Haram and ISWAP have been notorious for beheading or enslaving Christian clergy. Pastor Lawan Andimi, a Church of the Brethren leader, was abducted in 2020. Days before his execution, he released a chilling video radiating calm and forgiveness. "I have never been discouraged," he said. "I believe that he who made them to act in such a way is still alive." A week later, he was executed. In the north-central belt, particularly Kaduna, Benue, and Plateau states, Fulani militants have taken to kidnapping priests for ransom. Unlike Boko Haram, their motivations are often blurred, partly religious, partly economic. Yet the outcome remains the same: terrorized communities and devastated families. In the northwest and parts of the south, bandits have joined the fray. Often armed with AK-47s and riding motorcycles, they kidnap indiscriminately. But Christian clergy remain high-value targets, due to both their perceived wealth and symbolic status. The cost of silence. Not all abductions end in ransom. Some priests are never seen again. Others are found dead, bodies mutilated, churches burned. In April 2022, Father Joseph Akati of the Archdiocese of Kaduna was kidnapped and reportedly tortured to death. His family begged for his release. The church negotiated, but the militants were unmoved. These repeated assaults send a terrifying message: Christian leaders are expendable. Their lives can be bargained, their ministries silenced. But perhaps more sinister is the silence surrounding these crimes. With Nigeria's complex ethno-religious tensions and political sensitivities, many attacks go unreported. Authorities often downplay religious motives, citing banditry or local disputes. Meanwhile, the church buries its dead and the cycle continues. How the church responds. Despite the danger, priests and pastors continue their mission. Masses are still held, Bibles are still preached, baptisms go on under armed guard. Some clergy now travel with security details. Others avoid sleeping in the same place 2 nights in a row. The Nigerian Christian Association has repeatedly called for better protection, but with police forces overstretched and local governments often complicit or powerless, hope rests on international advocacy and grassroots resilience. In the face of fear, many pastors have become bolder. Some use their pulpits to call for peace, others to denounce corruption and impunity. "We are not afraid to die," said one Pentecostal pastor in Jos, "but we pray that our blood will not be in vain." For every priest kidnapped, an entire community suffers.